What's up, everyone? Today I want to do something slightly different and talk to you about this new game that I've been playing called Rocket Arena. And just before we get started, I want to say that this is not a sponsored video. There are a lot of videos going around at the moment for this game which are sponsored, and obviously with my 177 subscribers, this is not a sponsored video. I would always tell you if it was as well, so don't worry about anything like that. Um, but yeah, Rocket Arena, I've really been enjoying it over the last few days. And what I'm going to show you here is just a couple of matches of Rocket Arena Ranked. It's currently in pre-season, so it's not you're not really working towards anything. You're just ranking up for the sake of it because it's going to reset at the start of the season. But me and my friend and I are just enjoying messing around and kind of getting better at the game in the ranked playlist. This first mode here is called Rocket Ball, and this is a 3v3 arena shooter, and something I really like about this game is how you're always in the action. Like, if you compare it to, say, Call of Duty or your Battle Royale style games, then, it's a lot of, like, running around and kind of figuring out where people are in that game, and you just don't have that in a game like this. They're always right in front of you. Like, you can see me, I just got knocked out there. I tried to go for a goal, and I just got knocked out. So that means I took the maximum amount of damage your character can take, and then they hit me again with the final blow, which knocks you out of the arena. And you immediately just spawn back in, and you're immediately shooting people again. You're always in the heart of the action constantly, which is why it works as a 3v3 game. Yeah, and that's something I really like about this game that just differentiates it from other shooters right now, is that you always have this high action gameplay constantly. So I'm really enjoying that. But this Rocket Ball mode that we're playing right here is one of 4 modes in the game, and this particular one, it's basically capture the flag, to be honest with you. Like, it's not Rocket League style, bounce the ball across the arena with your car. It's very much kind of grab the ball in the middle. You can pass it to your allies, and you can throw it and shoot it, I believe, too, but I've never seen anyone really using that kind of strategy to maximum effect. But for the most part, it is just a capture the flag, a single flag CTF style mode where you're grabbing the flag in the middle and trying to take it to, instead of your goal as you would in CTF, try and take it back to your flag, you're taking it to the opponent's goal to score. And that was a very quick goal right there. But yeah, and it's a lot of fun. This particular mode, I actually really enjoy it. I didn't at first because the arena modes are the arena maps are quite small, so it can kind of end quite quickly if you don't know what you're doing. So this mode, I would say, takes a little bit more time than some of the others. But once you get into it, and once you get into kind of the feel of the game and how it is to shoot people with different characters and all different abilities and how you can use them to kind of try and score, then it's a lot of fun. Like, you can just see how like crazy and chaotic the gameplay is in front of me right here. And that's fairly unique to this game, I find. Like, you're always in that high action moment for, the whole match. And if you compare it to a game like Call of Duty, you have these like brief instances of high action, or even like Overwatch, you have these instances of like high impact play where you have your ultimate or something like that, and Genji pops off or whatever happens. But in this game, you're always there, you're always in the heat of the action. I think the time to kill combined with the difficulty in which it is required of you to shoot someone, because obviously you're using rockets, so you need to kind of be really cautious because they're slow moving projectiles. You need to kind of estimate accurately where your opponent's going to be. So a lot of kind of like mind games and kind of reading what your opponent's going to do and where they're going to jump and things like that involved in the shooting there. It just creates this really engaging gunplay, I guess is the word, that other shooters just don't really have at the moment. Yeah, other shooters just don't really offer this kind of moment-to-moment feel. So I think that alone puts Rocket Arena in a really cool spot, and it's a game that I want to keep playing because of that. It's not necessarily going to be my main game, of course. I really enjoy Apex Legends. I'm going to keep playing Apex Legends, but I'm really glad a game like this exists right now. It's just really fun. There are some limitations, but this is obviously it feels like a free-to-play game in that it has microtransactions and it has a battle pass as well. One thing I will say is that it looks like everything that you can get from the microtransactions aside the battle pass, so all the things in the store at the moment, you can also unlock just by playing the game. So if you want to just buy the battle pass, or you want to just You know, if you don't want to even buy the battle pass, you just want to play the game, there's nothing to stop you doing that. You'll have all the characters, you'll be able to play competitively, and there's plenty that you can unlock in the game without ever paying for anything beyond the initial purchase. So although it seems, you know, a little bit poor form to have it be like a upfront purchase plus microtransactions plus a battle pass, the kind of monetization is a lot more ethical, I guess would be the word, than you see in a lot of other games. So you can definitely have a lot of fun and unlock a lot of things without paying anything if that's how you want to play. Personally, I decided to go for the battle pass because I'm going to at least play this for the foreseeable future, so like the next few months, and we'll just see how it goes. We'll see if I get good value out of it. We'll see if it feels like it's good value. You can see me playing a character called Rev right now, and Rev is actually, I would say she's the fastest character in the game. I mean, that's why I'm playing her really, because for Rocket Ball in this particular mode, it's good to have like a really quick character on your team because you can kind of grab the ball and make these plays towards the goal very quickly. It does disable your like high speed movement ability when you have the ball, but you can use it ahead of time to grab the ball, and you can launch the ball and then use your ability and re-grab it and things like that. So there's a lot of depth to how you use your abilities and this particular mode, how you grab the ball and things like that. After this game, I'm going to show you another character in a different mode as well, which you'll see plays a little bit differently. But yeah, it's a game that I'm just really enjoying right now because of the kind of time to kill and the pacing of the matches and things like that. One of the cool things about this game are the characters and their abilities, and I think this is something that's a little bit different to a lot of games at the moment, because you kind of have games like Overwatch and even Apex Legends where you have these character abilities, but the impact plays, like the really impactful moments, really only come from your ultimate ability. Like Destiny would be another example. Like you have this RPG-esque character that you've built up, and you know they're supposed to be like a wizard or something, and they have these abilities, but your wizardry just comes down to throwing grenades every now and again. Like you don't really have any high impact abilities aside from your ultimate, which only appears every 2 minutes or something like that. So in games like Overwatch and Destiny, you sometimes find yourself kind of playing a very ordinary game of a first person shooter until you have these very like impactful abilities to use. Whereas in this game, I don't know if you can tell here, but I'm playing a different character with completely different abilities, and you'll see her playstyle is completely different from moment to moment. But for one, my projectiles are completely different. They have a different projectile speed, they have a different firing rate, and they have a different like blast radius. So it's, well, with this character I find it a little bit harder to shoot people with than it is with the other one, because Rev has like much more fast moving projectiles and fires at a faster rate. But every character kind of has their own learning curve and their own like skill ceiling, which I find really cool. And that can really vary like wildly. Like this character, she has a ability to throw out a decoy, which you can just see there. And the cool thing about this is that you can also choose when you want to teleport to that decoy position. So if you're in trouble in a fight, unfortunately I didn't get to use it there, but if you're in trouble in a fight and you sent your decoy out, then you can rotate positions between the decoy and kind of catch your opponent off guard. Her other ability is a shield ability, which makes her kind of like an off-tank style character, where she can actually soak up a lot of damage if she's drawing attention from multiple people. And that's something that I think no one else in the game really offers, so it puts her in a really unique role in the game. And because the roster of this game is fairly small, I think that's true for most of the cast. Like most of their abilities are fairly unique to themselves, so they all fit quite a particular role. But none of them are, say, dependent on another character and their abilities to be effective. At the moment here, we're having a slightly hard time. I'm definitely still learning the game, so I definitely make a lot of mistakes, still miss a lot of shots, but I think this will still be, I think this game's still okay. Like, we'll bring it back in a moment here. That's the Blastbeard, I think he's called, or the big character in front of me there. He's a character that's easier to hit than some characters, but he has a really huge payoff for his own attacks. Like, especially if people are on the ground or in like a small area, he has like a big AoE blast ability, which does an incredible amount of damage to a number of targets. So they all have these distinct playstyles, as you would expect, but the playstyles are, I would say, really unique to each individual character, which is a really cool feature of the game. And also, those abilities are influencing your gameplay moment to moment. Like every 2 seconds, you see someone using a different ability or a different power or something like that. And that helps make every character feel like they have a completely different playstyle from moment to moment, which I think is really cool and gives the game a lot of longevity, even though it only has, I think it's between 8 and 10 maps and similar number of characters. So yeah, I think that gives the game a lot of depth to its gameplay. And this is a mode called Knockout. So this is the mode I was talking about where it's literally just TDM and you just need to try and knock out as many people as possible, essentially. So in order to knock someone out, I mentioned this before, but it's just you max out that red health bar on top of them and then their health will enter a critical state. When they're in a critical state, they literally just need one more hit to be knocked out of the arena. So this person up here, like very, very low, now in a critical state and a final hit to knock them out. And that for me is one of the most satisfying things in any game I've recently played. It's like landing a sniper headshot or something like that. It's really satisfying to just get that final hit and blast someone out of the arena. I misplayed there and used my shield in the wrong direction while trying to escape. But there you go. And yeah, this is not one of our best games at the moment with 5 to 9, 9 on the opposing team. It looks like we're going to lose this ranked game, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But yeah, this game is in a really unique spot at the moment. I think it's going to be difficult for it to kind of set itself apart from others in the market because even though the gameplay is really unique, I think the aesthetic is targeted towards a younger audience, which is difficult because the gameplay, I would say, I mean, it's not excluding a younger audience, but it's actually a very in-depth, fairly like intense shooter. So I don't think the gameplay necessarily draws in that younger audience inherently either. Just walked into a mine, but whatever. So I think it's going to be a little bit tough for this game to gain a big audience unless it decides to go like either free to play or cheaper in the future. Because a lot of kids, they play a lot of free to play games. They play them because they don't have a lot of money. Like they need to convince their parents to buy a game for them or whatever. And I'm not saying that's the only reason for Fortnite's success, but the free to play model is very successful for that reason because the entry point is 0. Like it's so easy to get people into that. And that's definitely going to be a problem with this game in the future. So hopefully we see some change in the kind of marketing of this game in the future. Again, I walked into a mine. This was still a stage where I'm learning the mechanics of the game. But yeah, there are like abilities that you can pick up from boxes. There's a bomb, a mine, a ninja mask, and something else as well. A speed boost, I think. Yeah. So, and there you pick them up in boxes and they can influence the game in different ways. Like a trip mine can be set on the floor and then that really hurts someone if you hit someone with it. Like I just hit someone with it there and it stunned her and I was able to just finish her off with one shot for my primary. And that's one element that makes it a little bit of like a party game rather than a competitive game because the boxes are random. So that kind of like adds variable element to the gameplay that isn't like strictly skill based. But aside that single mechanic where you get these relatively small randomized rewards from boxes, everything is really skill dependent. So going back to what I was saying, I don't know if kids are going to jump into this at 21 quid and learn these like fairly in-depth combat systems. I remember our first teammate was a guy called Military Veteran. I very much doubt was a child. And I think really at the moment this game is attracting kind of people like me, like people who are interested in competitive games, people who like games like Overwatch, people who like games like Apex Legends, and just want to play something different. And if you're one of those people, I would really recommend it to you. If you're not really into competitive games and you're not into like learning new mechanics and systems and kind of engaging with all of those things, trying to learn a different meta game, then I'd say maybe wait for this game to reduce in price or wait to see what EA do. But if you are one of those people, if you are like me and you're really into kind of being there when the community develops and learns the metagame of a game, then I think it's a really good time to pick this game up right now. It's a ton of fun. Like, it's so much fun compared to a lot of other shooters on the market, and it's so different compared to other shooters on the market. So I'd really wholeheartedly recommend checking this one out. Like, obviously it's £22 I think with EA access for me. But depending on your budget, it's definitely a good one to check out. This has been Gung Joe. Hopefully you enjoyed the video.